Today we're going to use oil pastels to finish our Henry Matisse painting. I like to use oil pastels for three things when I do a painting project. First of all, I use it to fill in any white areas that I didn't get painted in. Secondly, I like to fix any mistakes that I made with paint, including outlining shapes so that they look nice and neat. Number three, you can add extra details to your picture that you didn't have time to paint. So I'm going to keep my little list handy close by so that we remember what to do today. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in the white areas that I did not have time to color last time. I can choose any color I want. I think I'm going to choose a color that matches my tabletop. So when you use pastels, they look really good with paint because they have that same bright, thick color that paint has. However, oil pastels only have this nice bright color if you're pushing a little bit hard and if you take your time to fill in the whole area. Otherwise, they look more like crayon and it doesn't match the paint as well. We want these to look like paint. So now, looks like my table is complete, like I didn't run out of time. The next thing I can do is fix mistakes and outline. So this is one of my favorite things to do because if you had a spot where you kind of got out of the lines or your paint looks sloppy, these pastels can really clean it up so that it looks really nice. I always grade you guys on your neatness. So if you're a little worried about your paint being neat and inside the lines, this pastel can really help you. So maybe I got outside the lines a little bit on this leaf. I can just carefully outline those leaf shapes with a pastel, and it will kind of make them stand out and look a little bit neater. Just like this. There. That looks a lot better. Finish this bottom part later too. Now the last thing that we need to do is add details. I did not have enough time to do all the flowers that I wanted to do on my project, so today is going to be a really good day for me to add those. I can just take any color that I want to use for flowers, and oil pastel is great because it will just cover right over any paint. So if I want to add a flower here, if I press hard enough, that pastel is going to just cover right over all of my paint. Now, I really want to make sure that I am thinking about what colors I use when I do pastels, so I'm not just going to leave that plain red. I'm going to do a little blending. I'm blending some pink with my red. And I think I want it to be just a little bit darker here to kind of make it stand out over that leaf a little more. Okay, let's try a yellow center. There we go. There's my first flower. I also like to add maybe some decorations to my tabletop. Let's see here. What color would look good with my tabletop? I think I need a little bit of blue on here somewhere. So for my table, I'm going to add a little bit of decoration. Wow, blue and orange look so nice together. These pastels are a great way for you to add extra color to your painting and make it really fun to look at. You're going to keep adding details to your painting until you feel that it is your very best and that it's complete. Now that I've finished with oil pastel, it's time to cut out my goldfish fish bowl. So I'm just going to cut on the outside of my oil pastel line because I want that outline to stay on. Just cutting away the white paper. Try to make sure that you don't cut any parts off, otherwise you'll have to be a problem solver when you glue them back together. There we go. I've got mine all cut out in one piece. Now the next step is we're going to take our glue, open it up, shake it to the bottom, and I'm going to add a few tiny dots around the edge. Open this a little more. I'm not putting just one big glob in the middle. You want to make sure that your tiny dots are in every corner. Now this goldfish bowl, make sure you don't put it on upside down, is going to go right in the center of your table. You're going to decide if it sets up higher. I usually like to put mine down a little lower so it doesn't cover up too many flowers. And then I'm going to press it down. You'll probably need to hold it for a few seconds. I'm not rubbing my hand over it because I don't want any of this oil pastel to smear. So I'm just pressing on it gently. Now sometimes as a finishing touch, if I want my fish bowl to look like it's a little bit transparent or see-through, I might lightly take an oil pastel and draw the outlines of some of the things that got covered up, like this leaf. That way it looks like you can actually see the leaf just a little bit through the bowl, but that's optional. You don't have to do that part. I'm just coloring lightly this time, not dark. There we go. When you are sure that your oil pastel is all finished and that your fish bowl is glued on flat, then you may take this up to Do Art Sonia.